Welcome to our 1 year anniversary video. Yay! All right, we can go back inside. Bye. That's right, we have been on the road for 1 full year now, and it has been really exciting. We have been super happy with the entire experience, and here's kind of a recap of what we learned over the year and what we are going to be moving forward with. Well, we had a couple of mishaps over the year. One of the big ones was in the very beginning, we had the trailer hitch extension that had our tools and stuff in it, and then it had the bikes that were an extension off of that. That broke in half. We were in the state park and went over a bump, and the hitch just broke off in half. And then I think about a month or two later, we ended up getting rid of those bikes anyway. Turns out we just didn't use them. We are not biking people.
No. Turns out if you don't bike before, you don't really bike afterwards either.
Yeah, we definitely found that
Yeah.
a lot of the fantasy things that we thought we would do now that we had more time and we're out in nature, we didn't do because what we did before really does continue on to what you do now. One of the other major mistakes we made was on our original fridge design. I had gone with just a small residential fridge, but it used way too much power. So we ended up having to rebuild the entire fridge thing, and we bought a really nice Ice Cove dual zone electric 12 volt fridge. And that has been great, but we've had to make 3 or 4 attempts at the drawer that pulls out.
Yeah.
And I think we finally got it. We're finally at a stable spot where it just continuously works.
We figured it out in the end.
Yeah, it was just too heavy because the fridge with the food and it was our seat was just way too many pounds. Another thing we've struggled with this entire year has been our power. The single solar power that we had, which was like 400 watts, I think, was enough during the summer to get us charged up, but we'd have to sit in the sun longer, which meant that it would heat up too much. And then for the winter, we were on the Oregon coast, which has overcast days like every day. So we were getting maybe 10% of that power in over the winter. So we were always short on power. So at the end of winter, we went and got a second solar panel and doubled our power. So we're now at like about 800 watts max. And then this winter, we'll figure out if that's enough to make us through an overcast winter or not. But in addition to that, we added the electric vehicle charger, which we've only used once because it also got added at the end of winter. But I think that's what's going to be our backup in the winter when we just need to top everything off. And it'll be a lot cheaper to go to an electric vehicle charger than it will be to get a powered campsite for the night, which we did a couple of times. The other problem on the Oregon coast was the amount of moisture in the air. We could not dry out. It even got to the point where the windows got moldy on the inside just because we exhale so much breathing. Like there's so much moisture from us. And the moisture on the Oregon coast is like misty all the time. So that was quite the challenge. We're not quite sure how we're going to handle that this winter, but we've thought about desiccant or running the heater more often or doing more wipe downs or something, but that'll be something we'll figure out this year.
It's possible we just have to open the windows and drive around because it's getting the new air in. Might be
That's
better.
right. Driving days did tend to dry
they
things
dried
out.
out.
It was when we stayed stable for multiple
Yes.
days. Yeah. Some of the other changes to the bus we made, we had originally made a bench seat on the backside. That got taken out in like the first week. It was so useless. It actually did not work our design at all, and we haven't missed it one bit.
No.
Most of the time we spend either on the bed, which is nice, or just the side bench, or in chairs outside.
Yeah.
And that's been plenty of room. And having easy access to the understorage under the bed was way more valuable than having a bench that we really never used.
Yeah, especially with pulling out the toolbox and everything that are heavier items. That
They
made
were
it a
too
lot
heavy.
easier to not have that bench there.
One of the other big problems from last summer was that we couldn't cool off. Like it got so hot in there and we couldn't open the side windows because the bugs would just fly right in because there's no window screens. So through the generosity of a friend who has a 3D printer, I designed and made some custom screens for our windows. So now we can have them open all the time. And that has made a huge difference in airflow. I also made a custom one for our roof hatch that almost fits perfectly, but not quite. So that one's still a in progress attempt, but it allows so much more air to just flow through. That's been really, really important that I definitely underestimated before we came out here.
Oh, we did try putting filters on those as well, but the filters blocked the airflow. So we just have to close up the windows if it's really, really polleny for
Yeah.
me.
Now the adventures we've taken, the whole point of being in van life was to reduce our expenses so that we didn't have to work all the time and so that we could finally go and explore the world.
Travel.
The world being the west coast of the US so far. We got down to Arizona in the winter for a van meetup. That was amazing. Such great people. On the way back, we came up through the Sierras, and I think we hit like 7 national parks in like 3 days. Fortunately, we had already been to all of them before, so just fast traveling through because we had to get back for an appointment. We also spent a lot of time in the Mount Hood area, which has been amazing. We spent a lot of time on the Oregon coast in the winter, which is when it's not busy, but it's a little bit cold and rainy, which we loved. And we were able to do slow travel on that one, so we took several weeks to be able to do the entire coast, which was a really fun way to explore because you didn't feel rushed.
Yes.
And then we also made it out to the north central Oregon, so kind of north of Bend, all the way up through the John Day Fossil Beds area. That was also some new areas for us. Very different than the trees and the coast and everything. There's a lot of varied areas in Oregon.
Yes.
And then the lifestyle. We are definitely going to be continuing this. I have loved van life. We have loved living in the bus and being able to travel around and just explore. And life has just been amazing. I've loved the last year.
Yes. It's been a really great experience.
The pace of life has been so much less stressful, and we just really enjoy it. A lot of the sites that we stay at overnight, we start with iOverlander to get an idea of the area. And we also have maps that show us all of the public lands, like Forest Service and BLM and places like that. And a lot of the times we'll just build into our schedule that we drive around for several hours, checking out different areas and finding campsites that will look good for us. Okay, and then last one is fears and confidence.
Well, you don't lack confidence.
Yeah, that's true.
That is definitely one of our pros and cons.
Confidence I do pretty good at. I've learned how our vehicle performs pretty well. We've had some mistakes, including like 3 days ago where I got stuck in the sand. We've been to some amazing places that if I didn't have the confidence, we wouldn't have gotten to at all. And then fears-wise, we are always pretty cautious when we're out anywhere. Whenever we pull up to a spot, we take the vibe of it and just see, do we feel safe? We've left many sites just because it didn't feel right for whatever reason. We trust our gut instinct pretty good. And then also every time we park for the night, we don't leave chairs out or basically anything that we are not willing to leave behind. We can be into the driver's seat and leaving a site without exiting the vehicle. And we always park where we can drive directly out from the location. We don't have to back up or do anything complicated because it's always nice to be able to leave at 3 a.m. if something weird happens or whatever. We've never had to, but it is always just that general safety. It is always nice to be able to just leave a site with no notice. I feel like I talk too much, but
talk a lot.
You can talk as much as you want to, and I love you.
I don't know.
So that is our 1 year of van life. It's been amazing. I recommend it to anyone who has any interest in doing it. And we are looking forward to our future adventures. We already got things lined up that we're going to go do. And I'm really excited about it.
It's going to be good.
Thank you for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Okay, I think that covers everything. Yay! Hopefully that was recording.
I was amazing.